welcome to my practical online session for assessment and screening process of the elderly. I'm going to first give you a quick agenda, what I'm going to do, what my not specialties, but what my focus is going to be on. We're going to go into warm-up, where the warm-up is straight away the assessment. It's going to be an active assessment. Then I'm going to talk to you what's important during the warm-up, during the assessment. Then we're going to go to the elderly mobility scale and the senior fitness test. Each has 7 items we're going to score, and my good friend Mitch is luckily going to mime an elderly person. He's going to be super frail, and we're going to see everything in person. Thank you. Okay, now about the most important thing when you're testing and assessing elderly people. It's the fear of falling, so you have to make sure that they don't fall, and you have to be present all the time. It doesn't help if you just hold his hand and you look from here, and now he's going to faint or he's going to trip and fall, and that's bad. Set still hits the ground, and yeah, I'm not going to forget for you or for him, and you're probably going to run away. So you want to be not distal, but very proximal to the body, because now if something happens, I can support him here, and I'm very close to him, so his really point of pressure and point of gravity, his main weight is here, it's pretty easy to hold him. So make sure every time you really focus, and you really focus. If something happens, you're there to support. Okay, now we're going to go to the warm-up. What we're going to warm up, we're going to do casts, controlled articular rotation. That means we're going to move every joint separately and only the joint. The most important thing there, we're going to look for evasion and compensation. We only want to see real movement of the particular joint. And we're going to go really from head to toe, fingers, everything included, and then you can really assess where problems is, where it's going to compensate, where probably he's going to compensate in real life because it makes it easier to him. So this time you have to be very careful, again that he doesn't fall, and very careful for movements of compensation. As soon as you see something, just remind the people of keep everything still and just really focus on the specific joint we're targeting now. We could do it sitting as well, but now we're going to have someone who's still capable of standing, so we're going to proceed standing and just take the chain in the end for really a little bit help and support, especially when you go to hip mobility, and see how that all works out. The first card is going to be for our head. We're going to start bringing our chin to the chest and follow our collarbone to the left side. Loose contact as late as possible on the left shoulder. Look to the sky, head back, and then follow with the chin to the right shoulder. Follow our right collarbone to the middle again. Then relax real quick, and then opposite direction. Follow collarbone to the right, loose contact late, chin to the air, and to the left shoulder, and back to the front. Here's already important if you look from sideways, if there's compensation happening in the thorax or even on the lumbar spine. You can really look for it and try to restrict them if you have the seating or you're going to take contact. As soon as I feel either my hands moving, that's it, just keep moving, and there I see the movement doesn't run through the whole spine and it's just really neck movement. This is just what we're going to have. We're going to go 3 times each side, and then we're going to go to the next movement. Now next, thorax. For this movement, we have to make sure that everything lumbar and from down is going to stabilize. So we're going to ask him to brace his core, flex his butt, flex his legs, and then only move the thorax. It's not a lot of movement that's going to happen, but we want to see just how good the movement is. For that beginning, put the hands on the opposite shoulders. Now you fold into the front. Try to turn to the left, and over a left bend, you come into the back bend. Leaning back, coming over the right side bend, really into the front. Relax, and down the different direction. Re-engage, full forward, flex your bum, flex the stomach, over right bend, leaning back, left side bend to the front, and up again. Here we already saw a lot of movement really in hip and with the lumbar spine. To counteract this, especially with the elderly, you can just sit them down again, and if you have the leaning back, that part of the chair, ask them to make contact, and as soon as they got the really perception and the tactile feeling of, okay, am I losing contact, then they know and might be able to really motorically to activate it better and have a clearer motion and only movement in the upper spine. But it is to be expected in the elderly and frail that everything gets a little bit stiff and there's not a lot of movement happening. Now comes the next part of the thorax, and everything is moving and see the movement of the scapula. For that, the client's going to be asked to raise your arms. Doesn't matter if they're bent or really straight. And now we're going to think in the box. We're going to get our shoulders to the ears and then push them as far from top, front bottom, back top, and again. And now we're going to change direction. From front top to back top, back bottom, and front bottom. Thank you. And what you really want to look at is here how the scapula moves. Scapula is meant to really slide the spine, really move up, rotate a little bit if you move it up, and then if you move back to really get a narrow space. We want a lot of movement in the scapula and no compensation, especially no leaning to the front and to the back. Now we're going to take the shoulders. For the shoulders, we want to have a complete movement to first really up, overhead, then to the back, and really go back again. Here, we're going to ask the client thumbs to the front, and now bring your arms raising into the front, getting overhead as far as possible. As soon as you can't reach anymore, here you can already see an evasion, a compensation. Now the thumbs turn to the front, and now arms reach back behind you as far as possible, and then down the side. And now we're going to go to the opposite. Try to keep everything flexed here, no movement at all. If that's all the movement is gives, that's okay, that's fine. And thumbs to the front, we're going to reach to the back as far as we can move anymore. Now thumbs rotate up to the ceiling, and now we come overhead, reach up, and slowly control in front of the body down. Here the most important thing, look when the compensation starts. The compensation starts as soon as you either see movement really in the box or see movement in the upper body to moving back and front and swaying. Most important is movements here, set the finish movement, then it's finished, it's okay for us. We only want to see really just the shoulder joint and how good it can move. Next one, we're going to go down from the shoulders to the elbow and then to the hands. First for the elbows, we're going to normal stand, just arms hanging, palms reaching to the front, facing away, and now we're going to flex our elbows, switch the palms, palms facing down and down again. Same once more, palms away, to the shoulders, palms down and down. This is for the elbows. Now we're going to go for the hands. The hands are a little bit more intricate because you have a lot of movement normally in the arms and elbow joint as well. To really restrict it, we're going to ask him to fold his left arm at a 90-degree angle. His right arm is going to support his left arm and grab it from down below. Now he can feel his thumb and index finger, both bones of his arm, if they're moving or not. The important thing is now to only rotate the hand. And fingers are going to really restrict the movement of the arm. So now it's not a lot of movement that's going to occur, but it's only what really happens in the joint. And relax. And the last thing is for the fingers. It's going to probably be the most difficult for the elderly. Just palms up, and from here we're going to close our hands from the small pinky to the thumb. Closing it, and just going to close the fist. And then from the thumb to the pinky, opening it again. And holding a little bit, laying the focus here on really opening the hand, because we only grip and rattle shit, never really open our hands in our everyday living. So that's the main focus here. Now we're going to move a little bit down, we're going to go to the hips. First, most important, can you really handle it balance-wise? You should really have assessed it before with an unscreening when you come to it, but now he can't. He can still grab the chair support, and now we're going to assess his left hip. First, lift the knee in front of you. Now turn your knee outside to the side, and lift it completely. Knee winds to the outside, and now try to lift your left heel up as far as possible, and back behind the body and to original position. And now reverse. Flex the knee, and now try as far hip extension as possible, and now move the left knee up to the side beside you, foot follows, and up to the front and back. Here the most important thing is really how much movement is in the hip. The hip originally doesn't give a lot of movement. You compensate a lot. To really let him feel it, if he can stand without supporting himself, or you can just use his left hand, put it on the ilios, and now you feel as soon as the ilios moves away from the index finger, then the compensation really in the hip and in the lumbar spine happens. It's not really movement in the hip anymore. But be very careful with that because it's elderly and if elderly fall, not so good. So very careful, and you can still address it on the ground, lying, or even sitting. And now we're going to assess the lower part of the leg. First we're going to go for the knee, and this is simple, the knee extension and flexion. So we're going to ask him to extend the knee as far as possible and flex the knee as good as possible. Here our chair is going to restrict us a little bit, but normally you can ask him to either maybe move from the side, or if it's a regular chair, not like a box chair like this, it's no problem to really move the heel of another chair. Afterwards we're going to go for the patella, so he has to straighten the leg completely. And now we're going to go passively on the patella and try to move the patella, shift it left and right, and up and down. From here you can see the patella should have free movement in all directions. That would be the easy and perfect for us. From there we're going to leave the leg in that position and we're going to assess the ankle. For the ankle we're going to, for stability, we'll let the heel rest on the ground and now do circles and the whole ankle 3 times to the left side, 3 times in the other direction. And last but not least, we're going to put both feet together, just in front of you. Knees flexed, foot really on the ground. Foot feet on the ground, flex, there you go. And from here we're going to look at the last for the toes. We're going to try to lift the toes up, starting at the pinky toe, and then put each toe down and really try to grab and pull a little bit in the floor and lift them up again, this time starting with the big toe and up, 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 and rest. So that way we got everything now completely covered. Okay, now how this warm-up of calf controlled article rotation can be used as a really good assessment. We took it now at everything really active, but you can also take it when people are more frail or really not confident in their movement as a passive way. That way you have to take contact. For example, if I would assess his shoulder, I would take his shoulder, and you can even bend his arm, doesn't really matter. Whatever feels good for it, I make contact here and really restrict the motion. And as soon as I feel, there comes a little bit of the chest comes out, now I can really feel where his movement ends and where really the passive restriction are and when he has to compensate. It's a lot different if you do it passive than active, because active, he's known and he knows how to compensate in that way since everyday living. If I move him around, I can really restrict and really test the real range of motion that would be possible. Then for us, the next step would be really to re-engage it and to get the motor control to really re-own the possible range of motions. Now we come to the senior fitness test. We got 7 items. Now we're going to test the first 3, and out of convenience, we're going to test everything with a chair all at once because that's easier and it's more convenient for you to look at as well. First is the chair stand and sit test. That way it's going to test everything, lower body strength, everything you use in everyday living. You need to sit up, you need to sit down, and you need to walk. So everything's tested at once. For that, I'm going to ask him to put his hands on the opposite shoulder, and without the help of his hands, he has to stand up, stand real tall, complete that is 1 rep, and sit down again. This goes on for 30 seconds. Important, stand up again, that you here make sure to catch him, support him, and be really close and not far away from the body. And as we talked about in the beginning, if you help and assist, not distal from the body, proximal, hold him, catch him, and safety always first. Guys, you can sit down again. Second one, everyday living. Now we go from the lower body to the upper extremities, and now we're going to go for the curls test. For that, you're going to take the weight. It's 2 and 3 kilos for the man, and females, I think 1 and 5. He's going to keep sitting, take the weight in his hand, and now everything he has to do is 30-second curls. And just completely straight. Straighten down completely as far as possible, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And just record each repetition for 30 seconds. Perfect, very good, sir. And then the last, sitting down, is a sit and reach test. Now we're going to look for flexibility, mobility in the lower body, which is of course important for gait, how the legs swing, and how we can really move. For that, one of the legs is going to be flexed, the right leg is going to keep flexed. The left leg is extended, And now he's going to reach down and try to touch with his left and right fingers his left toes. And now, if you can't anymore, normally you would have a ruler or like measurement tape, and then you can take the distance between his finger and the big of his toe. Okay, next we go the 6 feet up and go test. 6 feet, roughly 2.5 meters. His task is going to be get up, move around the cone, get back to the chair, and sit down again. Here we're going to test agility because he has to accelerate, decelerate, change of direction, and as well combine as we have in the first test, getting up and sitting down again. Okay, get up, sit, around it. That's it. Make sure that you really support him in case of he trips or falls, but that's just you can time it and measure the time. Okay, now we have the endurance test. Endurance test number 1 would be a 6-minute walk, and then basically we're gonna walk on 25 meter like on a track, and I'm gonna just make sure he's not falling, and we're gonna see how far he can get in 6 minutes. Because I don't want to show you us walking for 6 minutes, pretty boring for you. And also, YouTube doesn't like that as well. So we're going to do an opposite, not an opposite, but an alternate test. This is going to be the step-up test. First, we have to measure halfway between patella and iliac crest. It's pretty easy. We're going to just find the bony part here. Here's the patella, and to find the middle, you're just going to come with both thumbs together. They don't need the middle of this. This is from here, 27.5. That means I'm going to give him the height, and he has to touch with his knees my hand. He can grab onto the chair to support, and we're going to start with the right leg, left leg, and only the right rotations are counted. And go with this. 1, 2, and so on. How many repetitions he's able to complete within 2 minutes. Now our last test is going to be for shoulder mobility. It's going to be the scratch test. He's going to be asked to reach with one hand from up behind his neck, and the other hand is going to come from below, and he's going to try to touch his fingers. So right arm comes from the top, left arm comes from the bottom, and try to interlace the fingers. And now we only count the difference between the fingers, and that's just, if you can touch it, you can even have a negative score if the fingers are really overlapping. Okay, next, the elderly mobility scale. Here we don't have a real bed here, so we're going to improvise, and the first 2 tests we're going to use the floor as a bed. Because the first 2 tests is lying to sitting up and sitting up to laying. You can just straighten your legs, and from this position he has to come by himself to reach the full score in a sitting position. Okay, now go ahead, try. That works pretty well. And now the second test, of course, lying back down. Works pretty well, so full score. To really, the other scores would be if he has to be assisted. Assisted means first 1 person or 2 person. And that's the first test. Second and third tests are going to be sitting to standing and then standing. And first, sitting to standing. And he doesn't help, so full score. If you would need help, that means I'm going to support him very, very proximal again, make sure he doesn't fall. And then standing would be he has to stand by himself without any support. And the full score, he would have to reach in front of him. So you have to reach my hand, before touch it, and arms back down. That would be the full score. The last 3 tests are going to be for the gait, movement on time, and just for reach, everything standing. For the first is the gait. Can he walk by himself? Just go for it. Or does he need a cane, or really like a rolling device, or does he need my assistance? As more as he needs, so the score goes lower and lower. Next, with the time walk, he has to walk 6 meters, and under 15 seconds is a full number of points. But we don't need to see him walk under 15 seconds. He should be able to do it. And the last one, the reach test. To try the reach test, he has to reach 40 centimeters in front of him without moving his legs. There we go. Pretty good. He is a good full-grown adult and not yet frail and elderly.